Guess who's back? J to the Roos. What's up, y'all? How you been? Took a little vacation. Now I'm back like a spinal column. You like that one? Big night of boxing. Jamal get them mixed up. Charlo fought Montiel, action-packed fight. It was a one-sided fight, but the dude definitely, Montiel had a chin, man. This dude was coming forward the whole time. Took an incredible amount of punishment. It almost got stopped in the sixth round, but the ref let it continue. And it's like Al Bernstein was saying, the dude was doing better when he'd fight orthodox. When he'd switch to southpaw, that's when he was getting knocked all around and he was off balance, but great night of action and went the full 12 rounds. And yeah, it was just a lot of, like I said, it was a one-sided fight, but if you watch the fight, you'll be happy you watched it. Anyway, what I'm here to talk about is Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Yo. Before this, I saw an interview where Deontay Wilder was again talking about the glove gate and all that. He's talking about Tyson Fury's glove. He said it was impossible or something for a man's hands to move like this or something. And I'm like, well, if it's impossible, how are you doing it right now? Didn't make sense. And then his trainer, Malik Scott, comes out talking about that Deontay Wilder was as great as Ali was in the ring. Malik, stop tripping, bro. Stop tripping. How in the world is Deontay Wilder as good as Ali was in the ring? Look at Ali's footwork. Look at Deontay's footwork. Ali had skill, rhythm. Wilder at best looked like what someone else said a while ago, like a giraffe on roller skates. Stop playing, Malik. It's not funny. But the press conference, Tyson Fury already won the first round. You see the stare down? Like the longest stare down I've ever seen. It was like 5 minutes plus, and Wilder turned away and walked away first. And see, Tyson Fury did to Wilder what he did to Klitschko when he sat in the sauna with Vladimir Klitschko, and he took it. They were both sitting in a sauna, and Tyson Fury, was playing psychological games on Klitschko. I guess Klitschko would stay in the sauna with other boxers and outlast him, saying he could take the heat and the pressure, so he'd stand there. But Tyson Fury stayed in the sauna with Klitschko and he stayed in there so long Klitschko had to leave. So he beat him psychologically, which let him know he could beat him when they fought in the ring. That's what he just did to Wilder. Stared him down, had no shirt on. Wilder had glasses, took him off at one point, stared him down, but he walked away first. Fury would have stood there for an hour if he had to. Wilder comes to the press conference with earphones on, and he was doing I knew what he was doing, and so did Tyson Fury. He was wearing the earphones, I believe, so he wouldn't have to hear questions from the media about Glovegate. That was his way of not having to deal with that. And I'm like, wait a minute, you've been saying it all this time. Don't run from it now, man. Say it with your chest, homie. Don't run from it. If you believe Glovegate was real, talk about it at the press conference. But he just sat there, finally went up to the podium, said something about bloodshed, and he was, trying to rhyme. And it's just a trip to see a dude that's been so talkative, and now all of a sudden he's at a loss for words. And I thought it was funny what Tyson Fury told his trainer, Malik Scott. He's like, how are you going to train Wilder to be a great fighter when you weren't even a great fighter? So it took Malik a while to think of a response, and then he came back with, well, are you saying Sugar Hill was a great fighter? And I think Tyson Fury kind of ignored the comment, but if I was Tyson Fury, I would have said, Sugar Hill may have not been a great fighter. I don't know if he fought at all, but he trained under the greatest trainer, his uncle, Emmanuel Stewart. So, it makes you think, how can Malik Scott really teach Deontay what he needs to do to be great when he wasn't great? But it was just interesting. And Tyson Fury's talking about coming into the ring at 300 pounds and just steamrolling Deontay Wilder. And I don't see any way Wilder can win. Tyson Fury was talking about all those combinations is not going to matter because once he's in the fight, he's going to revert to what he was doing before. And I said revert, not revert back. I hate when people say revert back. That's like saying back twice. Back. Just say revert. If you say revert, you don't need to say back. Anyway, that's your English lesson for English lesson for today, if I can get it out. But anyway, Tyson Fury was on another interview and he was talking about it does no good for a heavyweight, he's saying, to throw that many combos. He said, because what do you think? I'm going to just stand there while you're throwing combos? I'm going to be catching you in between shots. He said he was doing better before. He's talking about Wilder just throwing 1 and 1, 2 and backing up. Because if you throw a bunch of combos, he's going to end up catching you. And the thing, that I believe Malik Scott and Wilder have to work on is fighting going backwards. It's great to know all the combos, but he's going to have to deal with pressure. Fury's going to put on the pressure, back him up, and Wilder can't respond like a giraffe on roller skates. He's going to have to stand his ground somehow, and he's going to have to throw some short shots. He's going to have to shorten them long arms and throw uppercuts, hooks to the body. He's going to have to find a way to keep Tyson Fury off of him, which won't be easy if he comes in at 300 or even at the weight he came in at last time. I believe it was 270 something. But that press conference was just interesting. And, Malik Scott was trying to act like Deontay's, so focused, I guess why he's wearing the earphones. And speaking of earphones, Dillian White and Wilder are going back and forth on social media. And Dillian White said something about Deontay didn't talk during the press conference because the headphones were too restrictive and messing up his blood flow. So you best believe I'll be suing Dr. Dre, Beats by Dre or something, he said. These two are going back and forth. Dillian's got tons of jokes. I don't think Wilder can beat him in the trash talk. Maybe in the ring, but not the trash talk. And, yeah, a lot going on. What'd you guys think of the Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather fight? I thought it was just boring. It's like I heard this one trainer said, sometimes it's harder to fight a guy that doesn't know what he's doing rather than fighting a guy that knows what he's doing. Because, I think Floyd could have got him out of there if Logan Paul was more skilled. But when you're throwing wild shots, you don't really know where it's coming from. So fighting a wild guy can kind of make you look awkward, like you don't know what you're doing. But and people were saying there was a point of the fight where Floyd caught Logan Paul with the shot and kept him up and held him up. I didn't see that. I just thought it was a boring fight. Nobody won. Nobody got knocked out. Floyd promised a knockout, I believe. Didn't get it. Now we got Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley. Huge trash talk. I don't see any way that Tyron Woodley will lose this fight because, like he said, he's been fighting since he was a child, and may not have been boxing in the ring, but he's used to, a certain level of fighting that Jake Paul isn't used to. So I think Tyron Woodley is going to win this by knockout, and I think it'll be around round 3. Don't know how long the fight will be, but tell me what you guys think of the Wilder Tyson Fury press conference. Did you think Wilder wore those headphones just to avoid the tough questions from the media? Was he wearing them because he was focused? What do you think of the fact that he turned around first from the stare down with Tyson Fury that lasted over 5 minutes? Let's see, what else was going on with that Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder? I think that's about it. But let me know what you guys think. Great to be back. Thank you for watching. Be fearless. Make sure to hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe. and keep your gloves up. Yay, yay.